All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for a few real people out there just like you and just like me. All right, going to be talking about Chrissie Hynde's epic takedown of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It really has made my weekend so far. Here's a band that channels some of that rebellious energy that the early music from the Pretenders used to do, and still does, because you can go and listen to it. This is Fate. It's called Follow No One. I say you can follow Jesus, right? And maybe that's about it. But anyway, there's Fate, and alternative, melodic, good music. Check it out. The band will thank you for checking it out. They might even thank me. They may even send me a shout out over on a certain platform that we are both on together. Anyway, let's talk Chrissie Hynde, because this is just fantastic. This is fantastic, amazing, spectacular. So she posted this on Facebook about 21 hours ago. If anyone wants my position in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they are welcome to it. She goes on, I don't even want to be associated with it. It's just more establishment backslapping. Oh, see, you never know with Chrissie. You never know. A lot of people just think she's the typical left-wing, kind of outspoken PETA activist and so forth. By the way, she let Rush Limbaugh use the song, My City Was Gone. I mean, they made a deal where some of the proceeds went to PETA, and Rush was, yeah, okay, let's do that. And so, every time that song got spun at the top of the hour, some money would go to Chrissie Hynde's favorite cause. And she mentions PETA here. She goes on to say, I got in a band so I didn't have to be part of all that, meaning the establishment. This is a great story. I was living a happy life in Rio when I got the call I was being inducted. She says, my heart sank because I knew I'd have to go back for it, as it would be too much of a kick in the teeth to my parents if I didn't. Now, she grew up in Ohio, and of course, the Hall of Fame is there. And so she went back basically to make her parents happy. In fact, she goes on to say, I'd upset them enough by then. So it was one of those things that would bail me out from years of disappointing them. Like moving out of the USA and being arrested at PETA protests and my general personality. I like Chrissie Hynde. I do. Look, true story. My introductory shipment from the Columbia Record and Tape Club, I had the Pretenders debut album, and they were all, punk rocked on the cover, and everybody's buying like Jackson Browne and Bruce Springsteen, and I had heard Brass in Pocket, and I thought it was such a great song. I didn't know what the rest of the album was like, and I obviously ended up liking the entire album. But the album has some different styles on there, and certainly some punk rock-ish, post-punk, whatever you want to call it, new wave alternative music. And my friends were looking at me like, dude, you're wearing like shirts with alligators on them, and you're buying the Pretenders? These guys are crazy, right? And I'm like, okay. I was like being all rebellious, supposedly by accident. That's how it worked out. But man, what a great album. And I followed the Pretenders, for years, because I really enjoyed their music. And I think Chrissie Hynde is pretty cool. I don't agree with her on a lot of politics, but I think she's really cool. She goes on here, other than Neil Young's participation in the induction process, that word, it's loaded, it's pregnant, induction. She was induced. The whole thing was and is total bollocks. I love that. It's absolutely nothing to do. Listen to this. It's absolutely nothing to do with rock and roll, and anyone who thinks it is a fool. I noticed here one of the people who liked her post is Robert Cray. Robert Cray, who had a falling out with Eric Clapton because Eric Clapton wanted to continue to live. So I know Robert. Hey, Robert, sorry about that, with Eric Clapton wanting to continue to live. Anyway, and then, Clapton was branded as a racist and all this stuff, which is absolute garbage. But this is the media, folks. This is the same media, by the way, who gets the list of nominees, right? Oh, A Tribe Called Quest. 10 reasons why A Tribe Called Quest should be in the Hall of Fame. Let's break it down. And you're sitting there going, A Tribe Called Quest? And then you've got like Courtney Love out there complaining about how many women are nominated. There are not enough women, according to Courtney Love. Well, you got Kate Bush, you got Sheryl Crow, you have Missy Elliott. Don't know who she is, but she's important. Cyndi Lauper, she's on the list. I mean, how many do you need? How many women? Should the whole list have been women? You've got the Spinners. You've got a pretty White Stripes apparently has a woman in it. Don't know who they are. But this list is really weak. It's really weak. I've already talked about how weak this list is. Willie Nelson, by the way, is not a rock artist. Okay, he's just not. But you had Dolly Parton last year. Willie Nelson, I think, just turned 90 years old. So I don't know, folks. Again, the spirit of rock and roll is better represented by A Tribe Called Quest over, say, like Steppenwolf. The youth culture thing, I guess, is more important than does it even meet the criteria of being rock and roll? Well, Chrissie Hynde has it right. She knows. And, look, someone should take her place. Someone should take her up on her offer and say, you know what, Chrissie, can I have your place in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Somebody really low on the totem pole who will never get into the Hall of Fame, or maybe somebody completely deserving who goes out there and petitions everyone and says, hey, how come we're not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Maybe she should give it over to like Foreigner, since apparently, Mick Jones did something to the Hall of Fame people that was unforgivable, was blasphemy to the Hall of Fame. So he's not getting in, and Foreigner definitely not getting in. So I don't know. I find this very interesting. And the stenographers in the so-called classic rock world who really have lost their way in recent years with some of the music that, even the stuff that's rock oriented, it's not classic rock. It's not good enough to be in the Hall of Fame. When you set the bar high early on in rock history, it's really hard to keep lowering that bar. I mean, Cyndi Lauper, who had one album that did fairly well, right? And girls just want to have fun. But see, Cyndi Lauper checks all the boxes, all of the political causes she's in favor of. Chrissie Hynde, by the way, PETA, right? She's a PETA supporter, people eating tasty animals. There is a lot of weird, crazy animal abuse these days, like the domestic animals. I mean, look, people are always going to eat cows, right? They're going to eat cows, they're going to eat chickens, they're going to eat certain things, and that's going to be the way things are. But when it comes to pets, like cats and dogs, weird stuff I've been seeing lately. It's humanity unraveling. So I do agree that these animals should be taken care of. And if you're a vegetarian, I get it. If you're a vegan, I get it. But, don't force your religion on me. And I don't think Chrissie Hynde is forcing her religion on anybody. I mean, she negotiated with Rush Limbaugh to make Rush able to keep that song, My City Was Gone. And she obviously benefited from the level of exposure the song got on a daily basis. I don't even think they're using that song anymore with the new people hosting the old time slot. So that's kind of sad. But anyway, folks, I love this. Chrissie Hynde just goes off in the Hall of Fame, tells it like it is, living the good life down in Rio. Don't interrupt her life with the silly, not so rock and roll Hall of Fame. This band probably won't be in the Hall of Fame anytime soon, but they're good. Follow no one. I'm sure they don't want to be a part of that establishment organization either, which Chrissie Hynde says really has almost nothing to do with rock and roll. And yours truly agrees with that wholeheartedly. All right, people, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. Patreon, I need some help because revenue continues. I looked at the numbers again and I don't understand. I don't know how much lower it can go, but this is 2017, 2018 levels where I was an upstart channel and I really thought this wasn't going to be a way to earn a living. By the way, just went over 65,000, 65K, which is great. Thank you so much. But for whatever reason, more subscribers doesn't mean that the revenue stream goes up or at least just maintains. I'm not even looking for an increase. I'm just looking for it to kind of go back closer to where it was, say, a month ago. So anyway, I'll keep you up to date on that. Thanks to everyone who's already doing a lot over on Patreon. You know who you are, and I'll see the rest of you and those folks very soon.